By the end of this video, I want to have you trading for 2024 picks. We're going to talk about some of the exciting players, but to be honest, I'm more excited about the strategy of this in general. Trading for an asset that will only accrue in value and will skyrocket in value later on this offseason will be exciting. We'll get into exactly why, but before we do, drop a like, subscribe if you play Dynasty. If you want to check out any of these player props, link in the description, link in the comment section. On Underdog Fantasy, when you make a $10 deposit with promo code FLOCK, you are going to get our 2023 Dynasty Fantasy Football rankings and a 100% deposit match. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. My favorite place to play. But I think that should be it. Let's get into a few of the reasons why I think you should be trading for 2024 rookie picks right now. Before we get into the players, let's first talk about this being one of the most insulated trades you could ever make. If you are trading for a 2024 rookie pick, there is almost nothing, and I repeat, nothing that can happen for that pick to lose value. Even if Caleb Williams decides that he's going to go back to school, even if he has some off the field thing that nobody's expecting, will that pick really change too much on the Dynasty trade marketplace? Nope. It's going to remain about the same. So first off, you're trading for an insulated asset that has a very hard time going down in value. Another reason that we are going to be looking to trade for this is you are going to be getting a discounted asset with how far it seems away. And while yes, 2024 picks are so far away where we have to sit here and think there's 16 months, there's 17 months until you're able to actually select a rookie with that draft pick from this point. The NFL season, at least the fantasy football season, lasts what? 6, 7 months? So you're going to have to go through that time period that we just went through this year 2.5 times. Think about how long that is, but your league mates are also thinking about that. Not only are they thinking about it, but everybody will be looking at the 2023 rookie class. You'll see this when you go to make an offer. Your league mates will see this as well, where they pull up Sleeper, they pull up whatever y'all are playing on, and for them to get to 2024 rookie picks, they're going to have to scroll down all the way past their roster. They're going to have to keep scrolling down, go past their 2023 picks to get to those 2024 picks at the very bottom. But things may look different 5 months from now, because keep in mind, while we're trading away a veteran, while we're trading away a current asset to get that 2024 pick, you don't even have to hold that pick until next offseason. You can hold that insulated asset through the course of this offseason. And I will tell you, if you hold it over the next 5 months, if you hold it until this summer, you're going to be put in a position of power, because after your Dynasty rookie draft, where are the earliest picks? 2024. So if anybody wants to trade for a rookie pick, they're going to have to go to you. If you have multiple 2024 picks, those will be the earliest picks available to trade for. Those 2023 picks loaded on Sleeper, they'll be rookies already. We saw it this past offseason, where after you had rookie drafts, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, all loaded onto rosters, all of a sudden, everybody in the Dynasty community went, okay, well, what's coming out in 2023? Should we trade for 2023 picks? The same thing happened in 2021. The same thing happened in 2020. Literally the same thing has happened every single year since I started playing Dynasty in 2014. Every single year for almost a decade now. If you acquire these rookie picks early on, they become extremely valuable, because we also have to look at the dynamic that we've talked about every single year since we started on YouTube. I think we started back in 2018, 2019. We've been talking about it since then. They're gold. Dynasty rookie picks are gold in that they can be exchanged for anything. If you have DeAndre Hopkins on your Dynasty team, if you have Devontae Adams, if you have Tyreek Hill, if you have Dalvin Cook, if you have Derrick Henry, if you have one of those contending assets, well, I'll tell you something. Your trade market with that player is going to be extremely limited, because if you are going to sell Derrick Henry to a team, they have to A, at minimum, be a contending roster, and then B, have to be a Derrick Henry fan. It doesn't matter if they're a contender and they don't like Derrick Henry, they're not going to trade for him. And C, even if they are a contender, They like Derrick Henry. They still need to have a roster that needs a running back, and they feel like Derrick Henry would put them over the top and would actually allow them to win a fantasy football championship. So if you look at the amount of owners in that scenario that check all three boxes in your league, you may have 2 to 3 trade partners, 2 to 3 suitors for Derrick Henry, and that's maybe being generous. Whereas with that 2024 rookie pick, I can guarantee you any rebuilder will be drooling at the mouth to go and trade that pick from you. Anybody in the middle will also be very interested. And the funny thing is, even contenders, even teams that have contending rosters will always be willing to trade for a 2024 pick because it's like gold. It's like the United States dollar. It's the exchange rate in Dynasty. If I have a live stream and someone comes out and says, "Oh, Mason, what is Drake London worth?" Is my first reaction to list off 5 veterans that are similar to Drake London in value? Or is your first reaction to go, what is he worth in terms of draft picks? Because it's the same thing as gold, same thing as the United States dollar. They are currency. So let's recap. They are insulated. They seem far away at this time, which they will be, but they'll seem very, very early once we get to this summer. And in reality, we don't need any points from this point to this summer regardless. Once we get to the summer, they'll be the earliest draft picks available, and you will be able to trade them to anybody in your league because everybody will want them. So in my mind, that's a perfect storm to invest into something now that is only going to increase in value and to improve your dynasty roster, really with no risk at all. Now, if we're going to be looking at some of the players that are exciting for next season, I can no longer claim that I am a Devy expert. With the amount of redraft content that I have to put out during the season, sadly, I'm not able to pay as close attention to college football as I would like to. Really, in the offseason, that's when I have to dive deep and look at guys that are ranked 30, 40 spots down from that top guy. That's when I have to have our top 50 rookie rankings out and understand each player profile in depth. Here in 2024, I really only know the first maybe 12, 15 guys. I really only know the top guys, but those top guys look great. You have Caleb Williams, obviously a quarterback that was at OU, where I heavily rooted against him because he had to go in against my University of Texas Longhorn. That was a stressful game. And then he transfers over to USC. Looks phenomenal. Now, of course, he is a Lincoln Riley player. Now, of course, he does get to play in one of the best college systems you are going to find. On top of this, he has a pretty good wide receiver in Jordan Addison to play alongside at USC. But this is a quarterback that is phenomenal in terms of his mobility. This is a quarterback that has one hell of an arm. This is a quarterback that should be the #1 player selected in the 2024 NFL draft. So if you're going to get the #1 guy in the NFL draft with rushing upside at the QB position, very exciting. You have Marvin Harrison. I don't know if you've heard the name before, but pretty good wide receiver. Yeah, they may be related, okay? At Ohio State, we thought Jackson Smith-Njigba was going to put up a show for us this season. Well, he gets injured. Marvin Harrison comes out and has a phenomenal season. Looks flashy while doing it. I mean, I think we all remember the viral clip, him going out there in like Louis Vuitton. I think they were cleats. But if we're going to be pulling up just his stat line this past season, let me look up Marvin Harrison Jr. statistics. At Ohio State this past year with CJ Stroud, the man had 1,200 receiving yards, 14 receiving touchdowns, in an offense where, you know, there's a ton of competition. Now, our next guy that we're going to be looking at will be another player that is at the quarterback position. So another guy that you really want in Superflex, but this is going to be Drake May, someone who should be at the very top of NFL draft boards. Literally this season, he had, 9.2 adjusted yards per pass attempt, 38 passing touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. But what's very exciting is another quarterback with rushing upside, an incredibly efficient quarterback through the air. But at the same time, he adds on 698 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns at North Carolina this past season. Unbelievable. I mean, obviously, you have the #1 running back most people are excited about, Trevion Henderson, who ends up missing time this past season. But at the same time, if I'm pulling up his freshman season at Ohio State, the man literally had 312 receiving yards, 27 receptions as a freshman, averaging 6.8 yards per carry, 15 rushing touchdowns, 4 receiving touchdowns, 19 total. What's extremely impressive about this stat line is having that skill set as a pass catcher as a freshman. You very, very rarely ever see that. And if we're going to go to someone else that's exciting, I don't want to say Kyle Pitts or anything, but I mean, you have Brock Bowers, who just has looked unbelievable at Georgia. Of course, you're not necessarily expecting any tight end in college to just wow you with production, especially in the SEC, especially at an early age. But this is a player that is a true freshman, literally had 13 receiving touchdowns, 14 total touchdowns as a tight end, as a freshman. Now, of course, I can't sit here and act like I can go 30 players deep with this 2024 class. I'm sure a lot of you sickos can. I would say don't even be trading for the 2024 picks for the players themselves. I know that Dynasty owners will begin to get very excited about this 2024 class once we get to this summer, because it's always what happens. I think we should be trading for these 2024 picks now, regardless of the prospects, so we can take advantage of our league mates who are wanting to trade for these picks 5 months from now. Sell them at a higher price and be extremely insulated while you hold that asset. But I think that should be it. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, go down there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you play Dynasty. If you want to check out any of these player props, you want to get in a draft with us, link in the comment section, link in the description, Underdog Fantasy, promo code FLOCK, 100% a positive match, and our 2023 Dynasty rankings. But thank you again. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day, and I hope we get to see you with the video tomorrow.